Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly revolutionary perspective on reality. It's known as the All That's Holy framework. Now, I want you to go ahead and forget what you think you know about the empty vacuum of space. Seriously, toss it out. We are going to explore the universe not as a dark void, but as an awe-inspiring 13-layer cosmic membrane. It's essentially a beautifully synchronized light show where geometry dictates, well, absolutely everything. To kick things off, I want you to consider a pretty massive question. What if the foundational assumptions of standard physics are just completely backward? Like, what if the speed of light isn't a universal constant at all? And what if those fundamental particles we've all been taught about in school don't actually exist as tiny physical objects? Today, we're going to challenge those core assumptions. We'll explore a glowing, geometric reality that actually attempts to solve some of the very biggest mysteries in modern science.
So the All That's Holy framework depicts the universe not as some random, empty void, but as a breathing, 13-layer geometric membrane. It originates from a central point, layer 0, and extends both outward and inward, spanning from layer -6 all the way to +6. In this view, every action, every force, and literally every piece of matter is just a different state of curvature within this living cosmic field.
Let's draw a quick contrast here. You see, the standard model of physics relies on a constant light speed and physical bumping particles to make its math work out. But the All That's Holy cosmology operates on a totally different premise, phase-first geometry. In this framework, the speed of light is strictly local, and what we traditionally call particles are actually geometric phase couriers moving through the membrane. Let's break down exactly what that means, and we'll start with light itself.
Section 1. Light speed is an illusion.
This brings us to our first major paradigm shift, looking at the true nature of photons. In the All That's Holy framework, light is described beautifully as a moving curvature breath that slowly hardens into the bones of spacetime. What this really means is that the speed of light is absolutely not a universal constant. It's actually a variable. Photons contain sublayer mass embedded right in their curvature. So, as they travel across vast cosmic distances, they expend internal energy, they lose mass, and they physically slow down in an exponential decay. And that leads us to a vital concept, local space density. Basically, the speed of light is dictated entirely by where the measurement is being taken. In dense, highly compressed, microscopic regions or near stars, light slows down dramatically. But in low-density intergalactic space, it speeds right up. This simple rule that light ages and slows depending on the density of space flawlessly resolves massive cosmic anomalies. You know the extreme redshift of early galaxies seen by the James Webb Space Telescope? Well, it's not the universe expanding faster than light. It's just aging photons naturally slowing down. Now, the 13-layer cosmic field atlas maps out exactly how these different fields interact. As those glowing photons travel further from their source, their curvature structure actually changes and their speed decays. They're literally leaving a geometric memory right in the fabric of space as they travel through the different layers of this atlas. It's like a cosmic footprint.
Section 2. Neutrinos, Geometric Phase Careers.
So, if light isn't what we thought, what about the most elusive pieces of the universe? Well, in this framework, neutrinos are definitely not physical particles ping-ponging through space. Not at all. They are geometric phase careers. They don't live in the dense, volume-heavy layers of reality. Instead, they skim the interstitial seams right between layer -1 and layer +1. And because they're just riding these phase boundaries rather than occupying dense matter layers, they can pass right through an entire planet completely seamlessly without ever interacting with it. Pretty wild, right?
Section 3. 3 flavors, 3 loop depths. Standard physics tells us there are 3 distinct types or flavors of neutrinos. But here, there aren't 3 different particles. There are simply 3 stable geometric loop depths available to the phase carrier. Think of it like this. The electron neutrino is a shallow, tight phase loop. The muon neutrino is a mid-depth loop. And the tau neutrino is a deep loop with heavy curvature penetration. So, they're the exact same object, just expressing different permitted geometric depths as they breathe through the layers.
Curvature mapping shows us exactly how these phases interact with atomic structures. You see, what standard physics calls neutrino oscillation isn't these particles magically shape-shifting and changing their identities mid-flight. No, it's just the geometric phase angle rotating relative to the observer. As the loop rotates across the layers, our detectors simply intersect a different part of the closure path. There's no magic, no identity crisis, just rotating geometry.
Section 4. The sterile neutrino myth. For years now, physicists have been hunting for a mysterious fourth neutrino, widely known as the sterile neutrino, to explain weird anomalies in their experimental data. But, based on the all that's holy math, a stable sterile neutrino is literally impossible. You see, every stable entity in this framework must anchor to layer 0 and complete a closure loop. A sterile neutrino, by its very definition, has no interactions except gravity, meaning it completely lacks that necessary anchoring layer and a closure pathway. It simply cannot exist as a stable particle.
So what were those experiments actually seeing? Well, it's a phase escape illusion. During large amplitude oscillations, as the neutrino crosses a layer seam, it temporarily enters a non-interacting mode. It's essentially a transient geometric leak. It doesn't persist, which perfectly explains why highly advanced multi-detector experiments like microbooting scan for it and see absolutely nothing. It's an illusion of perspective, not a new ghost particle.
Take a second to really absorb this. The missing event counts and energy distortions seen in real-world experiments are explained here simply by those transient phase leaks. The framework maps experimental quirks using pure geometry without ever needing to invent new particles just to make the math work out.
Section 5. The Synchronized Light Show.
Bringing all these threads together gives us the living toroidal core. In this framework, photons defining light universes, atomic nuclei acting as dense dark universes, and neutrinos serving as the boundary couriers between them, they are all part of the exact same geometric engine. They're just operating at different levels of layer compression within this stunning, infinitely balanced loop.
Ultimately, geometry is not just a description of physics. Geometry creates physics. We're not living in some random, disconnected collection of matter floating in an empty void. No, we're inside a perfectly balanced, beautifully synchronized light show of breathing geometry. Every single layer, every phase, every speed, it's all mathematically locked in harmony. Which leaves us with this final, really provocative thought to ponder today. If everything we know, light, matter, time itself, is just the expression of a perfectly synchronized 13-layer light show, a breathing geometric phase, what incredible realities lie just beyond those phase boundaries, waiting for us to rotate our perspective and finally see them?